turns into day. Overnight, day turns into day. 2025. Turns into it is up to this generation to defeat the Nazis of Project 2025. It is up to us to hear our ancestors, all of us, to meet this moment. We need to defeat these Nazis and help them find health care. But we are not going to allow Project 2025 to break the United States into a dictatorship. There is one time to be aware that your country needs you to pull the Union together to fight the forces of hatred. And the time is always now. The threat of Project 2025 to democracy on Earth and the human habitat is very real. And we must stop Project 2025. It must be stopped. So we need to take care of this. We need to rid the world of people still held captive. We need to free everyone being held captive by or within the Ku Klux Klan. We need to free everyone captive or active in neo-Nazi movements. We need to free people who are buckled and cucked and disaster struck to have given up humanity such that they have adopted intolerance, to understand that we do not foster it in the United States of America, and that working to spread it is considered a sign of malice for human family and crime. People who would say that taking whiteness apart is taking white people apart are deeply mistaken. The broken and corrupt whiteness that we miracleized as light-skinned beige Europeans has been apocalypse that all of us have just barely survived. But making it comfy for the triumphy makes it easier for people to ignore that they benefit, and that's where it came from. Abject greed willing to murder, crush, and dehumanize people for money and power. This is the signal. This is the virtue signal. And the only thing wrong with a virtue signal is if when you get there, you find it's false. This is the virtue signal. It is time to stop Project 2025 in its tracks. It is time to arrest this contagion before it cracks what it aims to crack with cracks. We can, as the new Colossus, as one humanity, astride a white people only training wheel free, like we remove the training wheels that have always had the little whites only label on them, that we've always kind of just not really noticed, and sort of it gets shuffled under redlining and gets shuffled under, but essentially it's time to let the words of the Constitution ring. Like, what if we took our Bill of Rights and Constitution to be speaking of something we do for everyone? What if we actualized this and leaned into it, making sure that no one gets left behind, for real? Not only can we afford it, but if we stop our addiction to chronic, unending punishment, we can capitalize upon human want. We can suffice for human need, well met, such that no one goes wanting for the basic needs. And people can choose to drive or not. And whether they eventually earn the wealth to get a Lamborghini as opposed to a reliable old Toyota is the difference between want and want achieved. And we can give people help with their wants too, but we find a way to give enough back into the system to actually take a large chunk from people who succeed so well that they become potential parasite. That to guard against that and to receive the reward of being a billionaire or a very wealthy person on planet Earth, you pay back into the system as if you are not a god, but someone lucky to be in an ecosystem flourishing as you are within it. Such that education is not starving. such that no one is starving, such that no one is only getting little half bags of Doritos from the trash, such that no one is punished because they did the wrong thing the wrong way and there's only one way out. We can stop relentless punishment, and we can instead target people who are the punishers and predators in society, who hide among the shapes of normalized enslavement and normalized punishment. We make society decent. We destroy Citizens United and save representation of humanity within the law. Money is not speech, and we can rescue that. We rescue and remint and improve a fairness doctrine. And it comes together now as the new Colossus, standing to break Project 2025 and Agenda 47 into dust. Dust that those victims who are now a part of it and aspiring to be a part of it will thank humanity for. To have rid these people of a cancer that now infects them. We have a paradox with tolerance. And the paradox is, we are tolerant of everything except for intolerance. We tolerate everything but intolerance. We tolerate everything but intolerance. And that's why MAGA and Christian nationalism and these Nazi, neo-Nazi collaborators and patriarchal terrorists at the Heritage Foundation and their associated band of white thugs can get them to mental health care for your big feelings, and corruption will be met with accountability. Your violence and your attempted police state and attempted Nazi dictatorship will be demolished before it assembles. Why? Because we like you, because we love you and we're in love with you. We are the human race, and there is one kind of person. We are all the same kind. We're also, each of us, different. But there is one kind of humanity, and each of us are on that spectrum. And just like we don't let people whose leg is infected with cancer fall away into death and dismemberment and pain if we can help them, we are not going to allow you pathetic creatures infected by MAGA and infected by the Nazis of their Heritage Foundation, such as Stephen Miller and Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh and these predators to have their vampires dessert? The answer is no. The new Colossus is here, and interestingly enough, the signal will tell you that we are the renovation of love's imagination. That if we believe in a God, we know that God was asking for love's reinforcements of the imagination of the universe. And we have a duty to be part of that without buckling to malice and a perverted idea of a Christ who loves guns and money, rather than who looks across a border and would walk on the razor wire. Let the X crossing out the Nazis of Project 2025 be memory also of the barbed wire of the razor wire upon which Christ would walk. Christ would walk and roll and parkour upon the razor wire, all the way to Greg Abbott's lap. Christ would do a drag show for DeSantis. Christ would wash DeSantis' feet and fix his heels and make him feel good about his gender-affirming footwear. Christ would make Ron DeSantis feel no shame about his gender-affirming footwear. The signal is that this is when we say, radio science brain, radio science brain, radio science break, radio silence break, radio silence break, radio silence brain, radio science brain, radio science brain. Now is the time when we begin to wake up and we pay attention to end Project 2025 before it has a chance to enact itself. Today, all of us do something positive to make visible and raise a common, calm, urgent alarm about the Nazis trying to bring Project 2025. The Nazis are coming, and if we don't stop them, we may not have the chance again. It is time to wake up, because the Ku Klux Klan has a political wing, and it's called MAGA, and they are Nazis. It is the Ku Klux Klan, MAGA, patriarchal terrorist, white supremacist, white fire apocalypse that hasn't yet gained the technology of mourning and accepting the wrongs of humanity, including ones that our family have done or that we have done. People who have been groomed and hurt to believe in hate and to dole it out to other people, who can be shown a true invitation from humanity that becomes resonant and real and gift. The gift of belonging as part of human family, if we are the generation that processes our American apartheid or begins that mission together, that is our next chapter. And it would make it a hell of a lot easier and more intellectually sustainable, not just for those of us alive now or new young ones, but successive generations of little kids, and specifically for fearful racist white parents. Why would you not give your chance that you didn't have to your children to be free of hatred, to be free of a cancer that limits their lives and lets people be predatory to one another legally in the street and in life? Why would we not vanquish that? If we are humanity, and if what has come here in the form of white people like me has been any good at all, then we reckon with the fact that it didn't need to happen like it happened, and that mass terrorism was done and has been done, and that along with those cultural moments and shapes and attacks and hostage holding, hostages held for centuries, families stolen forever, until now, until we actually begin our mission of actual abolition, where we make a world where people who are guarding the peace are safe because they are trusted, because they are not a slave patrol, where there is equity and equality, where diversity is understood as just and kind and part of how democracy thrives, where inclusion is part of the idea that love your neighbor means love your neighbor, that love your neighbor as you would love yourself means love your neighbor as you would love yourself. It means that you need to be aware and open and kind in ways like how you treat yourself. This is not a burden. This is a gift. We can stop these Nazis, but we have to wake up. We have to recognize that there are voices that are screaming at the top of their lungs but have been reduced to these trumpets, saying woke is bad, when woke is love thy neighbor, and simply throwing stereotypes of hated scapegoat groups at the term woke, because they do not want to make space for humanity. They do not want to make space for human family. And what's more, they aim and design, by design, to target us with us, to sow discord and intolerance, to break down our ability to organize to do wonderful things, but instead to constantly be on the run from predators and from one another, falsely led to fear, when we have the creativity and the knowledge and the executive function, if we know how to protect and foster it, to do anything. The virtue signal is here. This is the virtue signal. And the only thing wrong with a virtue signal is if it's false. Maybe virtue needs an advocate. Maybe the devil already has an advocate. Day turns into day overnight. Day turns into day overnight. You are the renovation of love's imagination. I've seen it asleep and awake in visions. You are the renovant rain, careful and with precision. You are the permeation of love against division. You are the scient clarion ache with concision, and this is your new edition. Are we again yet? Are we again yet? Signal. This is the kindness king in spades. This is the virtue signal. Christ would show kind support for the gender-affirming footwear of Ron DeSantis, but he would flip Floretta's tables. ascension kit, the clarion, your Larian. You are the mindless made, life contained and activating agent be named, radio science brain. Radio science brain. You are the renovation of imagination. You are not conquered, you are begun. You are the renovant rain, parallel against hate, parallel against pain. Always. This is the virtue signal, this is the Kiant wig pull. This is the disguise off, this is the surmise lost, this is the actuation of the hope restored and awake. Make it sane, make it plain. Radio science brain, contain this ache, activate, candidate your braid. Your spinning plates are needed, need spun and need made. Imagination aid might make a way for the kindness in you to remain. Through play, you are the clarion, you are the true scion, you are a scient mind along. Be wax, be wane, be way, be freight. Radio science brain. The virtue signal minds our mindness. This is the kindness that fonts science and recognizes the incredible danger of the Nazis, of the Heritage Foundation, and Project 2025, and we can stop them. Together, we, and yes, I'm talking to you too, I'm talking to you, Nazis, we can help you stop yourselves. We can help you stop yourselves. We can help you stop yourselves from failing to drill down on just one of the many nagging, blistering, volcanic doubts you have about the falsehood. Who is the falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who prompts the need for a conscious virtue signal? Who brought into being and donned an age of permuting hokum so dense that we ourselves might choke? When we breathe, when we see, when we sniff, we conceive that we are in fact already lost by greed? Who knows what evil lurks in the heart of mendacity? Americans know. Americans know that the Nazis of Project 2025 and Donald Trump are mendacious and are embracing evil. 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 It is time to wake up. Be aware that the falsehood utilizes Darvo. Be aware that the falsehood may be speaking through anyone. Darvo, Scoop Troop. Keep that card handy, whether mentally or physically. Remember to slap it on the windscreen or into view when you may be looking through that screen to a falsehood near you. Darvo. Deny, attack, to reverse victim and offender. The tactic may be used by the falsehood or their many disciples upon any of us. It's good to be aware of a device to recall and apprehend these tools in play or in exploitation. All right, Scoop Troop. The signal, the virtue signal, looking at the neo-Nazis and extremists flaunting dictatorship and declaring they will come as Project 2025. The new Colossus says no. Who is the falsehood? You are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger looking into your eyes saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Oh, well, that's all right. I thought we'd be listening to the music here a bit more, but we can absolutely take time to just silently look at this deeply depraved, dangerous, and deceptive individual. Stephen Miller is a threat to humanity. It would be good to call him M. At Stephen M. As he is a predator worth marking as murderer.
noch einmal. Sind Sie denn verrückt, Mensch? Apfelsinenschalen auf die Straße schmeißen? Bringt man sich Hals und Beine. Unglaublich sowas. Müsste man direkt
The
der Polizei
murderer
anzeigen. Unverschämtheit, Sonderbeleidigung.
is identified by a sound heard by one person, and once identified, is marked with M. Ghostbusters, indeed. It would be wise for us to mark M. And this is the time. This is the time to mark well what's happening around us. Because if we are going to stop millions of deaths at the hands of Stephen Miller and terrible havoc in concentration camps and farmed misery, if we are going to stop distractions that are keeping us from stewarding our oceans and taking decent care of one another, we have to apprehend Project 2025. We can do it. The new Colossus is us. It is all of us. It is the liaised minds of all of us imagining democracy and what we can do. This is the renovation of this whole occupation.